A day without spending time with God may have you lost your way, but a retreat is a good way for God to make you go the right way.
How do I feel about being a member of the Information Society? That's a difficult question because I didn't know we were in the Information Society.
So, we're here on our way to a retreat, and this time around, the youth and young adults are actually going to be running the whole weekend, including Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, and we start like in a few hours. Once we get off this road, so we're going to have a lot of activities planned out, and we're going to see what it does. I mean, it's been a couple of weeks since our last ministry, since traveling all the way to Fort Washington. Now we're going the other way around. We're going down. Actually, we're going west to go to Mount Etna for our retreat. So we decided to have our retreat like an hour away from our church, and we're gonna see what's gonna happen. That's the beauty of like ministry, because like ministry has like no boundaries. So like, see.
In 1 mile, the destination is on your right. MT Etna Retreat Center. The destination is on your right. MT Etna Retreat Center.
Spiritual retreats are an important part of the Christian community, not only to get closer with God, but to also rediscover your own faith. If properly planned, you not only benefit the people, but also the church itself. This is why our spiritual retreat will be a weekend affair starting Friday. Friday was our first day, and we made it an important task to form a bond with everyone that came that day, which is what we did, starting with icebreakers. Icebreakers are really important if you want people to bond in a retreat. It is the core of forming relationships with people you don't normally acquaint with. Even if a relationship is formed, icebreakers are good at strengthening ones too. You may know a person's name and occupation, but maybe you don't know certain aspects of their personal life. Once relationships have been established or re-established, the base of our foundation has been set for our weekend retreat. Now that a foundation has been set for the weekend, we get ready for the main event that is going to be all day. It's important that we get enough rest because long before you know it, the day has officially begun. In order for the retreat to have a lasting effect for the church, every minute of the weekend counts, which is why we decided to start our days early by having a morning devotion planned out before we have breakfast. Get your hair, it's recording, guys. Slide it away. Breakfast was our first meal in our retreat and was the most important one. Not only because of the health benefits, but it was the first time you get to see true fellowship without the guidance of our church leaders. It shows that relationships are starting to form, and people are interacting freely and showing genuine and kindness to each other. Because it is a spiritual retreat, you already know that there will be a church service to start off the day before we get to our activities. And because it is a retreat, we try to put a little remix of our church program to satisfy the day campers as well as keeping them engaged, which is why we're taking the liberty to have the kids play for the violin, the women's ministry playing their ukuleles, and you already know that if we had musical performances, we are going to put a little remix on our praise songs to keep everyone engaged. Once we got done with church service, then it was time to get to the activities. The main appeal of a spiritual retreat is that it is not a church service, and it should not be serious. It should be a fun affair full of games and activities. Activities that we plan are not for leisure and pastime, and it's not simply just to make friends, but an opportunity to learn from others, teach others, encourage each other, and inspire one another. It will not only allow each people to grow as a better person, but grow spiritually. The beauty of doing such activities is that it takes you away from the busy, stressful life we all have. We can get so busy with trying to get the best grades, get the degree, get the promotion, or get paid with the most money that we don't have the time for any leisure and pastime. Without that leisure or pastime is why we typically see a lot of people who are stressed, depressed, dissatisfied, or just downright irritable. It is also important to incorporate activities in a retreat to remind everyone what it's like to have fun. You can see right here that at any age you can still have fun. A common goal of every retreat is that people should apply what they have learned into their everyday lives, similar to how the school system works. If you get good grades but can't apply what you know to real life things, then you have lost your purpose on getting an education. Once you get out of a retreat, you feel you learned something valuable that you can apply to your life. You feel re-energized and ready to take on life with a different attitude. If you can't take away what you learned from a retreat, it is not the end of the world. The beauty about every person is that each and every one of you is wired differently. If you feel that you can learn something and feel re-energized by doing something differently, go for it. Life is too valuable for you to spend it feeling miserable for yourself. Everyone deserves to live a happy life, full of fun and full of love.
I got out a video. I may get blocked in Opa Lupa.